Hello everyone, I am Akhil Rajaratnam. Welcome to today's daily news analysis session. So we have taken three topics for today's discussion. One is ensuring a proper social safety net for the gig workers. So I've taken this from the Hindu page 8. So this article is talking regarding the new law which is going to come up regarding the protection or maybe the social security for gig workers. So in this article we'll be talking regarding the what is gig economy, what are gig workers, we'll be giving more examples, we'll be giving more case studies, what are the laws related to this gig economy. All these things will be discussed in this particular article. Okay. Second one is on Samsung workers' right to unionize. I've taken this from the Hindu page 10 only. Recently, there is a very important strike which is happening in Sri Perumbudur in Tamil Nadu that is related to the right to union. The workers demand for right union. So, in this article, we'll be discussing what are the political aspects of this, what are the provisions related to fundamental rights regarding right to union, right to strike. All these things we'll be discussing in this particular topic. Okay. Third one is AQI remains for grab stage 1 kicks in. I've taken this from Indian Express page 5 only. So recently you might be knowing that Dasara celebrations are concluded. So many areas pollution has kicked up. Pollution has kept up, and especially in the Delhi region. In the Delhi region, pollution is going in the high rate. Also, the winter is also coming. So many issues are related to many issues. Pollution related issues are happening in Delhi. So we'll be discussing what is this AQI, what is this grab stage 1, at what point this grab stages are released. All these things we'll be discussing in this particular topic. All right. All right. So without further delay, let's move on to first topic, that is ensuring a proper social security net for gig workers. Okay. So let's understand what is the relevance of this particular topic from the UPSC point of view. Okay. So here the very important point is gig worker or gig economy. So why this is important? Because earlier itself UPSC have asked this question regarding gig economy. In the mains itself they have asked this question. Okay, so this we can include in the government policies and intervention development in various sectors. So here it is regarding the gig workers, welfare of the gig workers only. So that is the significance of this particular topic. Okay, so let's see what UPSC have asked in the previous year. So this was the question which was asked in UPSC CSE 2021. Examine the role of gig economy in the process of empowerment of women in India. So here they have clearly asked empowerment of women in India, empowerment of women in India, or maybe they can ask regarding the other economic dimensions also they can ask, or maybe even the political dimensions also they can ask, okay, or related to skill development they can ask. So like that way, this is a topic which is having endless dimensions. Okay. So that is previous year question. So which makes it very important for your exam. All right. So let's see what is the context of this particular topic. Union Ministry of Labour and Employment is drafting a national law to incorporate gig workers into social security scheme. Here I'll just tell you a prelims point of view also. The ministry, these kind of questions will also be asked for a prelims examination. Which ministry is drafting which all things? Okay, so here it is the Ministry of Labour and Employment. We have Ministry of Skill Development, like the different ministries are there. So keep this fact in your mind. Here Ministry of Labour and Employment is drafting the new law to incorporate gig workers. Okay, so we'll have to discuss why they are actually drafting this new policy. What was the issues with the old policy? Who is a gig worker? What is a gig economy? So what is the significance of this gig economy to Indian economy? What is the contribution to the GDP of Indian economy? All these things we'll be discussing in this particular session. Okay. All right. First, regarding gig economy itself, the gig economy consists of short-term freelancer contract based work arrangement typically facilitated through digital platforms. Okay, this is a basic definition only, but if I give you some examples you can easily relate with. For example, Zomato, take Uber, take Ola, all these things are coming under gig economy only. So basically what they are doing, it's actually short term only. It's not like you are going a contract with them, not going for a contract with them. It's not like that, short term only. For example, if you want to do the work, if you, for example, today if I'm feeling like okay, let me go for the work, I can go. Tomorrow if I'm not feeling okay, I'm not going for the work, I need not go. So that is short term. Why it is not a freelance? Because we are getting paid. If I'm going for the work, I'll be getting paid for that particular work. If I'm not, if I'm taking more work, means I'll be getting paid more. If I'm getting less work only, means I'll be getting paid less only. So that is freelance, and mainly one important significant factor of this is mostly this will be coming under digital platforms only. Just go through the examples which I've already mentioned, like Zomato. Zomato will be ordering you through the app or maybe through the system only, right? Ola, or maybe whichever Rapido, whichever it be, it is mostly the digital platform which is facilitating this one. Okay. Other than that, there are many other things also. For example, freelancing. If you are a designer, and you are interested in getting a freelance job, means you can go with a freelancing job also. Like platforms like Fiverr is also there. Like that, if you are a teacher, and if you are looking for online teaching, means again for that also platforms are there. So these are some of the examples of this gig economy. It doesn't mean that these are kind of low paid jobs. Even the high paid jobs also we can include in the gig economy. Okay. Alright. So who are gig workers? Now we understood what is gig economy. So who are gig workers? They are performing tasks on demand only. On demand only. So if I want to book an auto, want to book an auto, I'll be booking on demand. That is my demand. I'll be booking and they'll be coming. So that is on demand task. But what is the problem here? It is without the security of the traditional long term employee. Why? Because they are contractors only. They are contractors only and they are not workers. They are contractors only and they are not workers. So that is the problem with this gig economy. They are not considered, even though we say gig workers, they are not considered as a workers. Okay. So they are kept out of the traditional employee employer relationship. So if I am going as a delivery boy in Zomato, means I am not the employee of Zomato, just doing the delivery work for Zomato. Okay. So that it's kind of a contract job. That is what I am doing. Now let's understand why this economy is important. Gig economy, I told what is gig economy. I've given you the examples also. I've told you some of the important data regarding gig economy also. So why this gig economy? Why is this gig economy is important? Let's dive into more data regarding that. Okay. Most of these are from the Nidhi Aayog reports only. So India has created millions of job opportunities. In India alone, there are an estimated 7.7 million gig workers, a number projected to grow to 23.5 million by 2029-23. This is according to a Nidhi Aayog report. Nidhi Aayog report. So what is the point in this? One is job creation. So what is the main advantage of this? It will be creating more jobs. What is the in that itself? What is the advantage? Is like, for example, if I'm working, if I'm working in an organization, and my job will be over by 5 o'clock, and after that I will be having free time. So if I want to make some extra income, what I can do? I can go as a delivery boy, or maybe whichever, or maybe some freelancer or whatever it be. So that is also considered here. Okay. So basically, people who want to go for an extra income, they will be choosing this gig economy. So that is why the growth in the gig economy is very much high. Okay. So this is the statistic which has been given by Nidhi Aayog, and you can see here how it is actually growing from 7.7 million, to it is growing to 23.5 million. 7.7 to 23.5 million. This is a very humongous growth. Okay. Next one, gig work allows individuals to choose their working hours and projects, offering great autonomy and work-life balance. We can clearly shorten this to one single phrase itself. I am my own boss. I am my own boss. So if I want to work, I can decide. Okay, today I feel like working. Okay, let me go for work. Tomorrow I'm not feel like working. Let me not go. So that kind of autonomy will be getting. Okay, we are not under any particular authority. Even though we are doing the work for someone, we are not under that particular authority. So this gives more flexibility. Or if I am a student also, I can go to the work after my class hours also. So these are the advantages of I am my own boss. That is the advantage of this gig work. Okay. So next, let's see what is the contribution of this gig economy into India's GDP. Gig economy contributes around 1.25 to India's GDP, and this is expected to rise as the sector grows. The annual growth rate of gig economy has been 15 to 20%. To clearly understand this, we have to compare it with the other economies also. For example, let's compare it with agriculture. Let's compare it with agriculture. Agriculture is growing at around 3 to 5% only. Agriculture is growing at around 3 to 5%. Even though agriculture's contribution is around 20%, agriculture is growing at around 3 to 5% only. Let's take another sector, secondary sector, that is manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector is growing at around 6 to 7% only. 6 to 7% only. Even to increase this also, we are going to implement more schemes and all, but still as of now this is actually the growth in manufacturing sector. So from there you can compare, this is actually 15 to 20% in the recent years, even though this is something which has become popular very recently. Why? Because due to this online platforms, this Ola, Uber, Zomato, all these things became popular now only. So that actually contributed to the this humongous growth of this gig economy. Okay. All right. Next point is the gig economy meets modern consumer preferences on demand convenient services. For example, if I want to order food, I don't feel like cooking today. If I don't feel like cooking today means I don't have to go to a hotel, right? Even going to a hotel itself, I might be lazy. So what I can do, I have my phone, I have my laptop. So what I can do, I can just click onto it and order the food, whichever food I want from whichever restaurant I need. And let's take another example. If I want to, uh, if I want to go from my place to the railway station, and the taxi stand is little far. So what we can do is I'll have to walk to that place, right? So instead of that, we can directly book and the taxi will be coming to my place itself. So these are on demand and it will be making the life of the consumer very much easy. So this is uh, some of the advantages of this gig economy. Another one, gig work provides income opportunities to underrepresented groups such as women and people in rural areas. Although only 6% of gig workers in India are women, sectors like online education, freelancing are seeing increased female participation. So here also gender gender representation, all gender representations will also be uh, part of this gig economy. But here you can see that now, as of now, only 6% of workers in India are women. Okay, so that is because mostly women are not aware of this, especially in the rural areas. They are not aware of this work opportunities. Okay, we might be thinking about delivery boys only, but not the case. Even freelancing, even teaching, work from homes, even online work, all these things can also be considered into this gig economy. So this has that potential. This has the potential to involve more women into this. Okay, so that is one advantage of this gig economy. Okay, all right. Why? Because you can take this example. Like if a woman is married and she is being married to a rural area, so she won't be able to go to the work in some conservative areas, and she won't be able to go to the work at a distant places. So at that time her income is zero. At that time her income is zero. So what she can do is she can opt for a online work. So she'll be getting income that will be contributed to the Indian economy. So many advantages are there. So this has that potential to grow. Another one, the gig economy provides a safety net during crisis. Crisis means something which is coming to our mind is COVID-19. COVID-19. So COVID-19, during COVID-19, what was the case? Many people lost the job. They were not able to, like this contract jobs and all, they lost the job because offices were shut. Everything was shut. So at that time, something which flourished was this delivery jobs. Delivery jobs and this work from homes. People were taking the work from home. Now also this work from home culture has become prominent due to the COVID-19 only. Okay, that observation maybe we can make. So many people lost their jobs and they shifted to this kind of online works. Shifted to, and at that time women also were able to have a better work-life balance. So there are many studies which shows that also. Okay, so during a crisis period like COVID-19, it will be acting as a cushion. Okay, so that is also one advantage of this gig economy. All right, so now let's see what are the legislative frameworks. There are many legislative frameworks which are related to gig economy, especially this one, Code on Social Security, which was enacted in 2020, 2019, and all. We revamped our labor codes, revamped our labor codes, and many things were considered. For example, safety of the workers, minimum wage of the workers. So many things were considered. So in that you can see here also to 2020 only. So obviously, COVID is also there. Okay, so there they have defined this gig worker also. Okay, so section 235 of the Code on Social Security 2020 defines gig worker to be to mean a person who performs work or participate in a work arrangement and earns from such activities outside the traditional employer and employee relation. So basically, even though they are saying it is gig worker, they are not considering him as a worker. So that is one main issue here. They are considering them as a kind of a contract only, like a contractor, like a freelancer only. So what is the problem with that? Problem is like, for example, worker means he'll be getting all the benefits of an organization. So contractor means, or maybe a freelancer means, he won't be able to get all the benefits of that organization. No paid leaves, no maternity benefit, nothing will be available for this. But still, this is how the code has actually defined the gig worker. So the section is section 235 of the Social Security Code 2020. All right. So let's see the challenges faced by the gig workers under the Social Security Code 2020. I've already mentioned this, but still again repeating, they are classified as informal or independent contractors. They are classified as informal or independent contractors. So what is the problem with this? They are classified as informal or independent contractors means for workers only labor laws are applicable. For workers only. Here they are not workers. Even though we say it is gig worker, they are not workers. Maybe we can consider them a freelancer or a contractor. Okay. So the companies can bypass the labor laws. Bypass the labor laws like the safety measures we need to apply for the workers. Like that, many things can be bypassed using this definition. Another thing is they aren't covered by the minimum wage laws. Minimum wage laws. Minimum wage, you know, right? For example, whether there is work or not, there should be a minimum wage for all the workers. So that is also not possible here. Why? Because, you know, if you are having work, if you're having a lot of work, means your income will be very high. But in case you didn't get any work, means your income will be zero. So there a social security issue is actually happening. Okay. Another thing is occupational safety regulations. We can take the examples of this delivery persons itself. Delivery persons itself. So mostly they'll be they have the targets. For example, within this time, sometimes in some food applications and all, we can say that within this time itself you have to reach that particular place. Otherwise, we will be getting the refund. So like that, many things are there. So all these things on the all of the delivery persons only. So like that, they don't have this occupational safety regulations also. That is a very serious issue. Another thing is lack to formal dispute resolution system for grievances. If you are working in a company, there will be an HR. HR will be there, right? So you can directly go with your grievance to the HR. So HR will be, or maybe whoever is concerned, you can directly go to them and you can share your grievance. At that time, they will be rectifying that. But here, that kind of system is not available. No formal dispute mechanism is available here. And also, state laws like in Rajasthan, Karnataka also fail to clearly define protection of gig workers. What happened is Rajasthan and Karnataka, they also tried to frame some rules for this. But problem is like they fail to include many of the gig workers. Gig worker is a very huge category. So many of the gig workers, they fail to include in this particular definition. So that is also one very important issue regarding, or maybe the challenge which we can find out. Okay. All right. So there was a very popular case which happened in UK, that is known as the Uber case 2021. So what this Uber case did is like they defined these gig workers, they were given the status of workers rather than independent contractors. I already mentioned it, like if you are a contractor, you will never get the social security benefit. You will never get the social security benefit. You will never get a paid leave. Nothing will be there. You are a contractor means take the contract, do the contract, get the money. That is a policy which you will be using. But here they were classified as workers. So what they will be getting? They will be getting social security benefits will be there. They'll be getting social security benefits will be there. They'll be getting paid leaves will be there. Like that, all benefits which a normal employee is getting, that they will also be getting. So this is considered as a landmark case, not just in UK alone, but still all across the world. After this only, many countries have considered framing a law, including India. They have considered framing a law, which is happening now, framing a law regarding this gig workers. And also this can be said as a landmark case which highlighted the importance of this gig economy to the world. So that is Uber case 2021. You can include this as a case study or something when you are writing the answer. So now let's see, again, in spite from these things, many countries are framed. India is also proposing a new law for the gig workers. So now let's see what are the provisions in the proposed law. It has not been in practice, but still what are the provisions of the proposed law. First one, gig workers will be eligible for benefits. So what are the benefits? One, like insurance coverages will be there. Insurance coverages will be there. Even some people are even batting for this, even retirement plans also. Retirement, if an employee is working for a very long time, some retirement benefits should also be there for them. And also this maternity leave and even paid leaves. You will get paid leaves for gig workers. After that case, you will be getting paid leave for gig workers. Okay. Next one, aggregators are required to contribute 1% to 2% of their revenue towards social security fund, which will be provide these benefits. So who are these aggregators? We know who are the gig workers, right? Like people who are employed by the platform. So these platforms are the aggregators. For example, Zomato is employing a delivery boy, means Zomato is aggregator. Ola means Ola is aggregator. Rapido means Rapido is aggregator. So they are the aggregators. So they should contribute 1 to 2% of their total revenue to the social security fund. So basically these benefits will be taken from this the money for the benefits will be taken from this particular social security fund. So this is the law which are brought in. Another thing is a welfare board will be set up. Welfare board will be set up to manage the social security fund. Why? To bring in more transparency. To bring in more transparency to, for that they'll be bringing in a they'll be bringing in a welfare board. Okay. The fund will be used to offer social security benefits like life insurance, disability cover and other protection. Sometimes there are many employees in the popular delivery platform itself who went into an accident while being in the work, but still after that again their contract was cancelled and they were not able to work. For them also nothing will be as of now nothing will be given. So for all these things will be should be considered. So that is the one important feature of this new law for gig workers. Okay. Another one is all gig workers must be registered under the new scheme primarily through e-Shram portal. So they have to self-declare that I am working for so and so platform. And who has to ensure that this is done? The aggregators. The aggregators have to ensure that their people who are working for them, they are actually self-declaring their identity and the platform through the e-Shram portal. Okay. All right. So these are some of the provisions. Next one, aggregators must provide a 14-day notice with valid reasons before terminating a worker. If it's a normal employer relation, mean there will be notice period like 1 month, 3 months, like that notice period will be there. Here the lack of notice period, what is happening with the lack of notice period? The employee can be terminated for bogus reasons as well. They need not show what is the reason. Directly they can cancel that account of the gig worker. So that should not be allowed from here on. At least a 40-day notice should be given citing the reasons of this termination. So that should be done here. And also the law mandates transparency in automated system, ensuring workers are aware of how their task and earnings are determined. There are many issues happening in this area, like they don't know how their earnings are calculated. You know, right? If you are paying, for example, if you are taking a ride, and if you will be paying 100 rupees, 100 rupees means the 100 rupees won't be going to the rider. 100 rupees won't be going to the rider. The rider will be getting some money. Other commission will be taken by the main organization. So like that way. But many people don't know how these things work, how these calculations are. So that is actually affecting them. For example, there was a protest from a the delivery boys, delivery persons of a very popular food brand recently in the southern part of India. So they were saying that this particular organization is taking unnecessary cuts from uh, their the payment which they are getting. So that kind of thing should be avoided. Uh, they should be clearly educated regarding how these cuts are actually being done. Okay, so that is also one thing. Another thing is new dispute resolution mechanisms will be introduced to safeguard gig workers' rights and handle conflicts. Same way like how a HR will be working in a what is the role of an HR in organization. So a dispute resolution mechanism where this delivery persons, I'm just using the delivery person, but mostly it will be like freelancers. They can go and approach an authority will be there for the dispute resolution mechanism. And aggregator companies are required to take the lead in registering workers on the portal. I already mentioned it, like the e-Shram portal, the e-Shram portal. So these aggregators have to make sure that all their executives are registered in the e-Shram portal. Okay, all right. So now let's see what we can actually do further. What are the issues? Now I understood what are the issues, what are the things in the new law which is being proposed. So now let's understand what are the way forward, what all things we can do to improve this further. So government should redefine the employment relation between gig workers and platform. Like that way, they should be considered as workers, not just contractors. So that is the major flaw. That is a core issue in whichever law which is there. So that should be clearly defined, especially taking, you can take the reference of the Uber case. Uber case 2021. You can quote the Uber case here. You're writing it as a way forward. You can quote the Uber case here. And also, all should be provided with mandatory accidents and life insurance. Whenever a person is enrolling to be a executive in the platform, at that time they should be mandatorily given an accident and life insurance. So that should also be there. And also, step must be taken to increase the women's participation in gig economy. Especially nowadays, more people are coming into this delivery field and all. But other than that, there are roles in which women will be more comfortable. For example, they can work from home itself. They can work from home. Like even the HR role, many people are actually working from home. Like that, they can hire them on a contractual basis. So that should be promoted. That should be promoted from the government side also. Okay, so that is one another point. A gig economy's expansion to rural and semi-urban areas and offering opportunities that cater to the rural workers. Many people, most of these platforms are digital platforms only, like delivery apps or maybe the teaching apps, online teaching apps, other work from home. We call it work from home only, right? So most of them are in digital platforms only. So rural India or maybe the rural areas and all, digital literacy is still less only. So we have to ensure that digital literacy, maybe any other financial literacy or whatever it be, that skills also has to be imparted to these people. Okay, so that is another point. Next one, gig workers should be allowed and encouraged to organize into unions or collectives. Again, workers can only make unions, right? These freelancers, it is not much possible for the freelancers to do this union. So that problem should also be solved, and they should also be organizing into unions or collectives. Okay, so these are the way forward. More points. Platforms should involve workers in decision-making process such as developing payment structures. They should also be considered. In our fundamental duties itself, fundamental duties, directive principles, everywhere it is mentioned. It's like workers should also be involved in this decision-making process. So that we have to implement here also, and government should collaborate to offer training and upskilling program for gig workers. Not just the platform, even government itself should come up with new plans so that they can contribute in the gig economy. Okay, so this is regarding the gig economy. This question was already asked in the UPSC mains examination, and also this is a very important topic and which is always in the news. So obviously, and again, this new law is coming. It will become more important from the mains perspective. Okay, mains perspective. In the prelims perspective, we can even note the ministry which is framing the law. Okay, all right. So that's it regarding this gig economy. Now let's move on to the next topic on Samsung workers' right to unionize. Again, in Tamil Nadu, Sri Perumbattur. Some Tamil Nadu, Sri Perumbattur, some workers of the Samsung India, they are actually demanding to recognize their union. Samsung workers, Samsung India, Samsung India Workers Union, Samsung India Workers Union. Okay, so SIW. So they want to they want the company to recognize this Samsung India Workers Union. Okay, so in this particular topic, we will be discussing where this right to form unions is coming in the constitution, where this right to form unions is coming, and what are the provisions for right to strike, what are the there are any fundamental rights involved, what are the restrictions, what are the reasonable restrictions which is involving in this fundamental rights. All these things we will be discussing in this particular topic. Again, it is coming under the paper 2 only, paper 2 mainly regarding Indian constitution only. Indian constitution, many articles will be coming, some important legislations will also be coming in this. Okay, all right. So let's see the previous year question which was asked, mostly related to something like this. Under the Indian constitution, concentration of wealth violates which of the following? Many provisions are given: right to equality, directive principles, right to freedom, concept of welfare. Again, in the same case, this question can also be asked. Instead of concentration of wealth, you can include it like right to strike, or right to unionize. So like that way also questions can be asked. Okay. All right. So context I have already mentioned, but still I'll again repeat. Samsung India factory workers are on strike, highlighting the demand for formation and recognition of workers union. The company is in Tamil Nadu. In the place called Sri Perumbattur. So in Sri Perumbattur, they are actually on strike, demanding the recognition of their workers union, Samsung India Workers Union. Okay. So now let's see what are the provisions of right to form associations or unions. So in Constitution, Article 19(1)(c). Article 19(1)(c) means it is coming under the fundamental rights. Coming under the fundamental rights. Okay. So what is Article 19(1)(c) saying? It is granting citizens the fundamental right to form associations or unions, including trade unions, for collective bargaining. This is very important. What is collective bargaining? Collective and bargaining. So collective means, for example, if I want a salary hike, or maybe if I want some housing benefits within the company. So at that time, if I am alone going, if I alone is going, or maybe some other person alone is going, at that time our voices won't be heard. So for that, what we have to do, we have to form a union. We have to form a union, or we have to go as a group. Then only it will be a collective. So collective voices will be more heard. Collective voices will be more heard. So that is known as collective bargaining. If it is legal, if it is legal and we are entitled to that provision, then should be getting that. So that is collective bargaining. Okay. But it should not, it will not be given directly itself, it will not be given if you are going like that. There are some restrictions also. There are some restrictions. So that is restrictions is coming under Article 19(4). So this Article 19(4) allows the state to impose, definition of state and all you might be knowing in the polity itself, to impose reasonable restriction on this right. Okay, even state doesn't mean the country, or the state government, even other things can, other entities can also come under the state. So they can impose reasonable restriction on this right. Okay, reasonable, but randomly they cannot impose any restrictions on this. They have to be imposed only in the interest of public order, morality, sovereignty and integrity of India. For example, public order. For example, defying this also many things have happened, but still public order means if some organization, from transport organization, they want to conduct a strike. They want to conduct a strike, disrupting all the health services, everything. Then reasonable restriction can be done, brought in under the public order. Okay, morality means what? For example, if they are striking to do something regarding child labor. Child labor is something illegal only, right? So they want to do something. They want to incorporate something regarding child labor in that labor provision. So that is also not allowed. I'm just giving you an example only. Another one is sovereignty and integrity of India. For example, if some kind of force or something which is involved in safeguarding the borders or something, so they are going for a strike. that is affecting the sovereignty of India. So then also reasonable restrictions can be made. So these are some of the provisions in which right to form associations are coming. How what provision is actually enabling the right to provision? So what is actually restricting the right to form union or association? Okay, all right. So let's see a very popular case which has actually suggested that this restriction should be reasonable. That is B.R. Singh vs. Union of India. B.R. Singh vs. Union of India. So there was a organization known as Trade Fair Authority of India. Trade Fair Authority of India. Trade Fair Authority of India. So what they did is like their workers, they demanded housing facility for the employees. So and also many other, including wage revision was also asked. So at that time, what the management did is like the management dismissed some of the employees who were part of the union, dismissed some of the employees, and they while saying that they will be considering it, they never agreed to their clause. So nothing regarding, no improvement regarding the demand were also. So at that time they challenged this. Uh, this particular incident in the court. So that is B.R. Singh vs. Union of India. So at that time, in this landmark case, what the Supreme Court did is like they said that right to form unions or unions is a fundamental right. They again said that it is a fundamental rights under Article 1C of the Constitution. That is, right to form union is coming under right to form association. That the court said. And also I already mentioned it, like they were imprisoned. Sorry, they were dismissed. So this restriction should be reasonable. Randomly, you cannot dismiss a person who is on strike. That is not possible. It should be reasonable and based on legitimate concerns only, and it should not be arbitrary. Directly, you cannot dismiss a person. Some SOP has to be followed to ensure that to prove that that is coming under the the things which you have discussed, like public order, morality, and sovereignty of India. Okay, so that is a very important landmark case. Even you can quote this for your answers also. B.R. Singh vs. Union of India case. Okay, so now there are some rules for registering the trade unions, which is coming under the Trade Unions Act of 1926. If you see here, you can see that it is 1926. So 1926 means during the British period only. During the British period, the Britishers wanted to regulate this trade union. So at that time, they brought in many provisions. So many sections are there. I'm just including only the important sections. How you can register trade union, who is responsible for the registration, and finally what will happen, which are the sections related to this. Again, these sections also you can directly quote in your answers. Okay, so how many people are needed to register trade union? 7 people are needed. 7 or plus 7 or more people are needed to register trade union. So what they will have to do, they have to go and apply it to the registrar. So this registrar will be evaluating this application. Will be checking whether everything is correct. For example, the trade union should be having a name. The member's name should be included. What is the purpose? All these things should be mentioned. So like that, many provisions are there. So registrar will ensure that all these things are there in the all these things are included in their application. So once he finds that okay, everything is fine, at that time he will be issuing a certificate. That serves as a conclusive proof of union's registration, and finally the union gets registered. So this is actually the process which is being followed for registering a trade union, and that is coming under the Trade Unions Act of 1926. Trade Unions Act of 1920. So there should be some benefit for registering it. Why we have to register? Without registering also we can work, right? We'll be getting the salary, but why we have to register? Okay, there are some key benefits of this registration. One is it will be recognized as a legal entity. If I am going for a negotiation, sometimes I won't be heard. If I am going, but if an organization is going for or association is going for a negotiation, it will be heard. Like the point which we have already discussed, collective bargaining. So here they will be getting a collective bargaining skill will be there for this recognized legal entity. So that will be there, and also there will be some immunity from civil or criminal actions. Again, in that BRC case itself, I told many of this people, there were cases were filed against these employees, and some of them were directly dismissed. So if you are, for example, if you are conducting a strike as a registered union, at that time some civil or criminal immunity will be there for the people involved. Okay, so that is also there. Another thing is protection of the workers' rights. Protection of the workers' rights. So registered unions provide workers with a collective platform for secure rights and demand better working conditions. Like now, for one person alone, the housing thing will not be given. But still, if you are going as a collective means, it will be there. Or maybe if one person is being dismissed without any reason, also these other people can go on a strike. So that will give the worker that protection. So that is also one important point regarding that. Okay, so now let's move on to another slide. So this was regarding the right to union. Right to union is, so next one is regarding the right to strike. Regarding the right to strike, so this is in the Industrial Dispute Act. Other one was in the Trade Act of 1926. This is in the Industrial Dispute Act before independence only. April 1947 only this was enacted. So this recognized the workers to protest for their strikes, but here also some reasonable restrictions are there. So that is right to strike. Okay, so you can legally itself you can strike legally itself. So that is the advantage of this right to strike, but still there should be some restriction. One is you have to give a notice. You have to give a prior notice that you are going for, or maybe your union is going for the strike. Okay. Another thing is, if a third party is involved, and the legal this conciliation proceedings are happening, at that time also you should not strike. Okay, and there is a time period also within 7 days of their conclusion. If the conclusion is happening within 7 days, you should not strike. Maybe after, once this is not going, that conclusion is not made, maybe after that you can again go for a strike. Okay, and also strikes are not allowed during the arbitration of legal proceedings under the act. If it's already in the court regarding something, there's somebody has challenged it in the court, at that time also strikes are not allowed. Okay, all right. So these are the provisions regarding right to strike. We have studied regarding what is a right to strike, what is a right to union. All these things we have discussed in this topic. Okay, now let's move on to another topic. AQI remains poor, GRAP stage 1 kicks in. AQI remains poor, GRAP stage 1 kicks in. Again, this is regarding the air quality index. We'll be discussing the air quality index and what is graded action plan. All these things we'll be discussing here. So this is regarding the pollution which is happening in the Delhi regarding after this Dasara celebration. So from the prelims point of view, these terms are very much important. From the mains point of view, it is coming under the environmental pollution and degradation area in the UPSC syllabus. Okay. Again, before itself questions like this were asked. You can see here it was regarding the NGT. Here also many organizations are coming. So here it is regarding the NGT. How is NGT different from the Central Pollution Control Board? So you have to, two statements are given. You have to identify which all are correct. Okay. So like that way, question can be asked regarding the organizations which I am about to tell also. Okay. So what is the context? Air quality index in Delhi dropped following the Dasara celebration, leading to invocation of stage 1 of graded response action plan. You know, right, during Dasara and all, we'll be burning these effigies, even some people they do the firecrackers. So like that, many things are there. Even the population, people will be going for celebrations, vehicles, all these things. So pollution will be high during this festivity times, especially during Diwali as well as Dasara. Okay. So followed by that, the air quality index has dropped, and they have invoked the stage 1 of graded response action plan. Okay. Now let's start with what air quality index. What is the air quality index? Sometimes known as NAQI or AQI, air quality index. So this is a measure in which the government can tell us that how much polluted is the air, or maybe what is the quality. Sometimes it won't be polluted. So what is the quality of the air to public? So that the government will be informing through this one. Okay. So who is behind this? Or maybe I'll just give you an example. For example, earthquake. You know, right? Richter scale in news and all we used to hear, right? Richter scale, it was 7 in Richter scale, 6 in Richter scale, 10 in Richter scale. So like that. Like that way, here also they will be giving a number. They'll be giving a number indicating that this is the quality of the air. Okay. So that's actually a way of communication between the government or who are the authorities with the public. Okay. So who is behind this? It is calculated by the Central Pollution Control Board and the State Pollution Control Board in collaboration with Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology and Indian Meteorological Department. So in the ground level, scientists will be there. Even we have high advanced equipments will be there. And sometimes if you go to this some areas and all, there will be monitors will be there indicating what is the air quality of that particular day. So that will be there. So the groundwork will be done by these teams, and they will be calculating the National Air Quality Index, and they will be showing it. Okay. So the scale is ranging from 0 to 500. Scale is ranging from 0 to 1. So 0 means what? 0 means the air is good. The quality of the air is good. 500 means it is worse. 500 means it is worse. So basically this is a warning of whether you will be getting a health hazard. If you are going out in this 500, definitely you will be getting some issue. Okay. So that's it. So based on this ranges, air quality index will be, sorry, the your health impact will also be vary. Okay. All right. So on what basis they are actually calculating this? Air quality index takes into account 8 major pollutants: particulate matter PM10 and PM2.5, carbon monoxide, ozone, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide, ammonia, and lead. So these are the 8 major pollutants. These are the 8 major pollutants who will become 8 major pollutants which we will be considering. Okay. So one more thing is that to calculate the AQI, data from at least 3 pollutants is required. In this 3, one should be PM10, another one should be PM2.5. One should be PM10, another one should be PM2.5. It's not like just 3 only, but still at least 3 should be there. So along with this, maybe 1 or maybe more are there, and if their levels are very high, then based on that only this AQI is calculated. Okay. So now based on this AQI for the Delhi NCR region, the authorities have come up with a plan known as Graded Response Action Plan. Response Action Plan. Delhi is one of the most polluted places in India, most polluted cities in India. So that needs special plans for rectifying that. Okay. So this is known as GRAP, Graded Response Action Plan. It's a set of specific emergency measures designed to combat air pollution in the National Capital Region. Okay, so as of now, it is specifically for the National Capital Region, the Delhi region only, and it was developed by Environmental Pollution Prevention and Control Authority (EPCA) and implemented by Commission for Air Quality Management. Commission for Air Quality Management. Earlier itself, there was a previous year question regarding NGT only, NGT and CPCB. So like that way, these organizations are also important. Which all organizations are implementing this, that is also very much important. Okay. Alright, so GRAB is activated based on air quality index levels, which determine the severity of air pollution, enforced in stages. This is very important. It is enforced in stages to reduce the harmful effects of pollution in public health and environment. Now itself, I don't know if you remember the news, it is like GRAP stage 1. That was only, we have different stages are there. So in this is the stage 1 only. Stage 1 means not much severe, but still it has to be involved. Okay, for every stage some measures will be there. So these are the 4 stages. So stage 1 is from moderate to poor. Moderate to poor, it is stage 1. Very poor, it is stage 2. Severe, it is stage 3, and severe plus, it is stage 4. Okay. So what all things we'll be doing? I already mentioned it, like we'll be doing many things to rectify all these things. So what all things we'll be doing in this stage 1? Stage 1 means a moderate to poor AQI. Okay. So here the number will be 200 201 to 300. 201 to 300. That will be the AQI measure here. So, if the AQI is between 201 to 300, what they will be doing? Mechanized sweeping of roads, sprinkling water to suppress dust, enhanced use of anti-smoke guns will be there, enforcing stricter pollution under control norms for vehicles. So, these are the things which will be implemented if the air quality is between 201 to 300. So, that is a stage 1. Okay. From here, we'll move on to stage 2. Stage 2 means very poor. From moderate to poor, we are actually moving to very poor. Okay. So, here it is 301 to 400. The AQI is between 301 to 400. What we will be doing? Banning the use of diesel generators, will be increasing the public transport availability so that less vehicles are only on the road. Vehicle pollution, mostly we are not into electric vehicles, mostly we are using other fuel vehicles only. So, that will be there. Shutting down brick kilns and stone crushers, all these things will be there. So, that is stage 2. Stage 2 means 301 to 400. So, next one is stage 3 is 401 to 450. Stage 3 is 401 to 450. Stage 3 is 401 to 450. If this is the case, means it is severe. Severe AQI is happening, AQI is there, and will be imposing restrictions on the construction activities, banning industrial operations in certain sectors, and stopping stone crushing and hot mix plants. So, these are the things which we will be doing if the stage 3 levels are there. Okay. Finally, stage 4. Stage 4 means severe plus AQI. It is above 450. AQI is moving above 450. Moving above 450 means it is severe plus AQI. So, there will be introducing something like odd even vehicle schemes. Regarding Delhi and all, Delhi has already implemented this long back. So, shutting down schools will be there, enforcing heavy restriction on private vehicles. Make sure that people are not much moving out, so that this AQI is directly linked to the health also. The AQI levels are very high, means it is better not to go out in the area. Sometimes the mask restrictions will also be there. You have to wear N95, that kind of mask is also there. So, like that, the government or maybe the authorities can come up with more restrictions regarding this. Okay. Alright, so that's it regarding the 3 topics which we have discussed. Now, let's see the prelims practice questions. First one, which of the following statements about the right to strike under Industrial Disputes Act 1947 is correct? Workers can strike at any time without giving prior notice. Workers can strike only after obtaining permission from the employer. Workers must provide prior notice and cannot strike during conciliation proceedings. Workers can strike during regular arbitration proceedings without any rights. Okay. So, here it is, workers must provide prior notice. 6 weeks prior notice should be given. I have already mentioned it in the while taking the session. Workers must provide prior notice and cannot strike during conciliation proceeding. If a third party is involved, you should not strike during that particular time. Industrial Disputes Act 1947. Okay. Alright. So, correct answer is C. Next one. Consider the following statements regarding Graded Response Action Plan. Which of the following statements are correct? First one, GRAP is a set of emergency measures designed to control air pollution in the NCR region. That is correct only, right? We have discussed already. GRAP is enforced only when the air quality index reaches severe category. Only when the air quality index. As we can take the present example. Now we are not in the severe category, right? We are in the poor category only. So now also GRAP is enforced, and that too in stages. Okay. So it is stages only, not just when it reaches a severe category. Stage 1 is invoked when it is in the poor quality. Okay. Implementation of, so this is wrong. The statement is wrong. Implementation of GRAP supervised by the Commission for Air Quality Management. This we have already said. So this is correct. So correct answer will be B, 1 and 3 only. Okay. So that is the correct answer. Next, we will see a mains practice question. We will see a mains practice question. Analyze the role of gig economy in India's labour market transformation. Discuss the benefits and challenges associated with gig work and suggest measures to improve the working conditions of gig workers. Many dimensions are we can cover here. So here they want to analyze Analyze the role of gig economy in India's labor market. Role of gig economy. I have given you a number of facts regarding this. What are the why gig economy is important? Why gig economy is important? So, why gig economy is important? What is the role? Women participation was already asked in the last year's examination. So, like that way, many other dimensions also we can have here. Benefits and challenges. So, benefits I have mentioned. Now, it is the challenges associated with the gig work. Again, this also we have covered. What are the suggest the measures to improve the working condition? Way forward. In the way forward was discussing this only. Okay. So, let's see a model approach to this introduction. How we can do this introduction? Like we can briefly give what is a regarding what is gig economy. You can define the gig economy and maybe you can what is the definition of gig economy. Maybe you can give an example also and maybe some small statistics regarding what is a gig economy, how it is shaping it. Okay. After that, we can move on to the body significance of gig economy. Here you can use the facts which I have mentioned. 7.7 to 2.5 and the growth is around 15% to 20% that you can mention it here. What is the economic contribution? You can compare it with other sectors also. What are the advantages? It will give flexibility and autonomy. I am my own boss. That also we can say. So bridging the skill gaps. It will be giving opportunity to more people. All these things we can mention here. Now regarding the challenges, what are the challenges in gig economy? Lack of social security, no insurance benefit, nothing is there in the here. Ambiguous employment, they are not considered as workers, but they are considered as contractors only. Income volatility, if you have work, you will be getting money. If you don't have work, you don't have the money. So algorithmic control. So that is like many workers don't know what is how on how what basis these things are calculated. So that is also main issue. Okay. All right. So, what are the measures which we can do to improve the workers' condition? Again, you can quote the act itself. Maybe soon itself, that act will be enacted. So, you can quote from directly from there itself. So, measures to improve gig workers' condition, formalizing this employment, like how this normal worker and normal employer relation is happening. So, that way itself we can formalize it. More social security coverage like insurance, all those security benefits and wage protection should be ensuring that there is a minimum wage. You can quote that Uber case example that maybe you can quote. Also, occupational safety regulations extended that can be extended, especially for delivery boys and all that can be done. Dispute resolution. There should be a proper body which can be approached in case of a dispute. That can also be there. And after that, finally, you can conclude it like gig economy. Maybe you can use some statistics also. What is gig economy? And how it is playing a very important role in India's India's GDP and all. What is the future of gig economy? So like that way you can conclude it with a very positive note. Okay. All right. So we have covered three topics in today's DNA session, and one from the mains perspective and two from the prelims perspective. So and we have discussed some prelims practice questions also. So hope you understood what is actually the essence of these three topics, and you know how to. And I hope you got an idea regarding how to frame an answer regarding this, and maybe how to solve the MCQs regarding this also. Okay. All right. So stay tuned. We'll be back with another session tomorrow. Thank you.